what do you like? What is your kind of outlook on what's going on in the country? What do you see?
You talking about the racial divide?
That's one part of it. Yeah. The divide in general. All of it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Houston Ensemble podcast, episode 36. We got a crazy episode today with a guy that I found on the Houston Vegans Facebook page. Rashad, I'm going to let you pronounce the rest of your name.
My name is Rashad Eagleton, but my Facebook name is Rashad Alkebulan, Alkebulan, Eagleton. And Alkebulan just means land of the dark people. That was the original name for the motherland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And my Instagram is at Nubian Pride 713, NUBIAN PRIDE 713. And my business page is Kale's Kitchen, KALES_KITCHEN 713 on Instagram. And I'm a vegan chef, and my specialty is vegan comfort food. And I'm excited to be here with you fellas today.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming. Rashad was posting a bunch of pictures about it. I saw a bunch of people sharing it, and I was looking at the food, and I was like, God damn. It looks so good. And, veganism is close to my heart. And it's also, we've talked to a lot of, vegan plant-based doctors. Not that it's, the only way. I think you can be healthy in many different ways. But, it's just something that I like to talk about on here. How long have you been vegan, and maybe give us your vegan journey?
Okay, I started vegetarian, so I say altogether without meat or seafood was 4 years on March 1st, 2021, because I started on March 1st, 2017. And it was just, the journey started with me being conscious, aware. When I walked into here, I could see that you guys are very in tune with nature, in tune with the universe, things like that. Are very spiritual people. Mm-hmm. And I've been that way for a while. So when I first started my journey, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Hebrew Israelites.
Are you tired of the government trying to calcify your pineal gland and turn you into nothing more than a working zombie? Look no further, because the Houston Ensemble has now been sponsored by the amazing Epic Water Filters. Tell us what they do, Armin.
Epic Water Filter is the only true filtration system you need. All these other filtration systems skip out on so many terrible chemicals and minerals that are still in your water and that you should not be drinking.
Fluoride, chromium, lead, all these other things that you do not want in your water. We've got water bottles with filters on them. We've got home installation filters. We've even got pitchers. Right now you can get 20% off any of these items on epicwaterfilters.com if you use our discount code Houston Ensemble, all lowercase, one word.
That's Houston Ensemble, lowercase, one word, for 20% off your Epic Water Filter.
Yeah, I wasn't into that, but I was studying that doctrine. And so if you know about Christianity or religion or that sect of religion, in the first 5 books of the Bible, it says you're not supposed to eat pork, you're not supposed to eat shellfish, which is shrimp, you're not supposed to eat catfish. So those things were the first things that I gave up: pork, catfish, shrimp. But that's when I was actually looking at eating as just a physical aspect. So along my journey, I started to look at eating as a energy exchange. So one thing they teach us in science is that energy can only be created. That energy can never be destroyed. So I got to thinking about when you eat animals and things like that, once they're going into the slaughterhouse, they have feelings too, before they go in there: fear, anxiety, depression, whatever that may be. Mm-hmm. So that's an energy. So it can't die. So it's still on that piece of fillet that you eat. So we wonder why, as people, our moods always go up, down, and that's one of the causes of it, because you're eating this thing, these feelings. You're ingesting fear. You're ingesting anxiety. You can't see it because they'll taught you that you're just merely physical. We're not taught about the spirit that we carry, about the soul that we carry, that we have to eat to actually feed our soul. So with that being said, I didn't want to take on the energy anymore, because I remember when I would eat beef, I would immediately get tired afterwards. So one thing about when you're eating animals, you get tired afterwards is because your body is trying to work extra harder to process the meat. It's trying to work harder to process it. And not only that, you're going into a trance state, a sleep state, just the same way the animal went into a trance state or a sleep state going into that slaughterhouse. So yeah, definitely, that's one of the main things why I gave it up. And when I did, I immediately, man, vibrations were higher. My vibrations, because when I first started, I wasn't eating like comfort food. The stuff I could not consider comfort food. Right. But when I first started, I didn't know too much about it. I just had this feeling in my mind, and it's funny. It wasn't like a fad. I was doing it because I saw other people doing it. I was literally sitting at Frenchie's. Have y'all heard of that place?
Yeah.
Frenchie's Chicken. I was there with my mom, and I was eating some chicken, and I just felt guilty. My spirit, it was like a voice in my head was like, this wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. Just give it up. So the next day, I just went cold turkey. I didn't know what I was doing, so I started vegetarian. Like I said, so I would call Pizza Hut, get the veggie pizzas with the cheese on it, or go to Subway, get the veggie sandwich with the cheese on it, or the veggie patties. But then too, I was eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and vegetables, because I didn't know too much, but I just know if you're gonna be a vegan, the root word is vegetable. So I was eating raw fruits and vegetables, and really cleansed me out, cleansed me. Like, I don't mean to be gruesome, but when I was eating meat, I would maybe have like one bowel movement a day. Starting on fruits and vegetables, I immediately like 3 to 4 to start dropping weight naturally, because Dr. Seaver says you after each meal, I know y'all familiar with him, you're supposed to have a bowel movement at least 30 minutes after each meal. So that, okay, then my intuition started getting stronger. I could like not hear people's thoughts, but I could feel people's intentions toward me. That started getting stronger. Are you guys familiar with astral projection?
Yeah.
My pineal gland actually burst open. I don't talk too much about it, but like we here, and I could tell you guys are into these kind of things. So the first couple of weeks, in the center of my head, I had a headache, and I thought it was like, I'm like, damn, dude, I got high blood pressure. What's going on? And but I was like, it has something to do with my body acclimating itself to this new style of eating. So one day I was asleep. Are y'all familiar with the bewitching hours between 12 and 3?
Yeah.
When the earth is the darkest, so they say that's when the spirits roam, like evil spirits, good spirits. And then at 3, there's a veil on the earth that we can't see. It's like the thinnest. So these spirits go back into their dimensions, whatever dimensions they come from. So I was asleep one day, like 3:33 probably. So I was watching a video, laid down. So I was immediately waking up by ringing in my ears. Y'all familiar with the ringing in your ears? That's when the ancestors or the spirit guys are trying to contact you. Had this ringing like a radio frequency. And I could just feel like my soul being sucked out of my body. And so then ringing in both ears, ringing in my throat chakra, and then immediately it came to the center of my forehead that had been pounded for 2 weeks, and my pineal gland, it burst open. It was so painful, but in that moment, time travel is real as well. I remember in 2014, I was talking to a Buddhist monk, and for some reason, we were just talking, and he was telling me about his pineal gland experience. He said, when it happened to me, it hurt so bad. I said, close it up. No, it hurt too bad. So fast forward to 2017, when it happened to me, I traveled back to that exact moment when this Buddhist monk told me how his experience felt. So I was watching this guy tell me how it would feel to have a pineal gland experience. So once I went outside of my body, I was looking outside of my window, but it was so like fearful. I jumped back into my body.
Yeah.
Not voluntarily, but you know, when you're out there, if you're not sure what you're doing when you're astral traveling, you can get stuck out there. So yeah, and I credit it to changing my diet, because one thing about the meat, I'm gonna let you go, giving the introduction of myself and my experience with it. One thing about the meat, it calcifies what we call the pineal gland, your third eye, which is actually how this is how the universe reacts. This is like our transmitter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a pineal gland is, our transmitter. So when you eat the meat, it has what in it? Parasites. And parasites, when you eat it, where do they go? To your, this is, what do they call this? Dr. Seeley said, this is your what? First brain.
Mm-hmm.
Your gut and your brain are made of the same materials. So a lot of people, when they're trying to change their diets and they're craving the meat, it's not actually them, it's the parasites that are in the meat still, because when the parasites attach to your gut, where do they travel to? Up here to your brain, and your brain controls the rest of your body. These are the two things that control everything.
Yeah.
Your gut and your brain. So like the parasites, they say they're attached to your pineal gland. So that's what was happening. My pineal gland was being decalcified.
Wow. You know, we do talk a lot about that on here, actually. It's perfect that you settled. I didn't even know you were going to go there with any of this.
Okay.
I am so happy that you did.
Okay.
And we have a... Can you imagine if I fell over? We got these water bottles right here. And in the filter, they filter out everything. Now, this filter specifically doesn't filter out fluoride, but they have other ones. And so we talk a lot about fluoride and stuff in the water, and fluoride is another thing that calcifies your pineal gland. And thankfully we got sponsored by this company for the podcast, and I'll hook you up with the code afterward, but you can use our code, and then and I'm not trying to sell this, by the way, sorry, it sounds like I'm trying to sell it to you right now, I'm just relating it, but you know, we're big on that. We're filtering out fluoride, we're trying to keep our pineal glands open, we're trying to be aware of everything. Are you familiar with DMT at all?
I've heard of it, yes.
Well,
Yeah,
you described like a ringing in the ears, and honestly kind of like a throat chakra thing as well. I didn't even think about that until right now. It sounded like you were kind of doing a DMT trip, which is in the pineal gland as well. It's the chemical that resides in your body and is released during dreams and released during death and that kind of stuff, and may take you to the next realm. I can't say that I've ever astral projected. I've tried many times, but I'm super into that, and I think that's crazy. But I love that the veganism is so connected to spirituality. And I remember when I was kind of like researching meditation a lot and really trying to get into that more, I was reading a book by a monk or a spiritual teacher, I can't remember, Sri Chinmoy, and he was talking a lot about they require you to be vegetarian because of what you were saying. You're intaking all that negative energy, all the fear, the anxiety. And I feel like our culture today is so steeped in all of that. It's so steeped in fear and anger and killing. And when we're consuming all that, that's why we're seeing it so crazy here in America. And we were even talking to a guy last night who was in Israel, and he was documenting like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. He was just talking to Israelis versus Palestinians and seeing what they have to say. And I was like, is it pretty violent over there, or what's it kind of like? And compared to America, he's like, actually, no, America is much more violent than what I'm seeing here in Israel.
Wow.
So it all plays into each other. And I feel like this kind of thing is something that brings all sorts of people together. And like that's why you're here right now, and that's why we're literally on the exact same vibe, and I love it.
Ashay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You mentioned Nubian. What is Nubian? Can you explain that to me?
Well, in my studies, civilization started in the motherland. You can't deny that's where civilization started. And where civilization started was in Ethiopia. Because you know, black people, we are bands of carbon. We're made of melanin. The same thing the sun is made of, the same thing plants made of, we're made of it. So they call Ethiopia, the name of it used to be Nubia. So that's what civilization started. So instead of saying Africa, because that's the name y'all's people gave the motherland, because that wasn't the name of it before, it was called Alkebulan or Tamaray or Nubia. So we just say Nubian pride.
Yeah.
So just being proud of who I am.
Yeah.
Or we could just break it down into English terms. I'm becoming a new being.
Oh, I like that. Okay, this is totally different.
Okay.
But I just have a question for you.
Cool.
Tell me about the grill.
Oh man,
I've never gotten, maybe this sounds really white of me, but I've never gotten to like speak to someone who has a full-on sweet grill.
yeah, come out, it's pull out, but it's just a Houston, Texas thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm 34 years old, I'll tell the truth. So I was talking to a lady friend about this the other day. I always wanted one in high school.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I was in love with Cash Money. Like back in the Back That Ass Up days, G Code, all them days, the Block is Hot, Lil Wayne. And so it was like I was just always infatuated with gold teeth. And so like when I got a chance, when I got grown, I always was getting them different grills. And so I think this one is my third grill. So yeah, I just iced it out and just wanted to do it. Just look good to me.
I love it.
Thank you. And I made it my logo actually. You seen
Yeah.
the cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. We'll I'm gonna post a picture of that when we edit the video.
Bet.
That'll be really cool.
I was gonna talk to you if you've ever heard. We can go on so many angles right now in this podcast.
Okay.
I feel like, we're on this kind of like spiritual vibe right now, where we can really head that way. But I was wondering if you had any thoughts about because when you say Nubian, it reminds me of other what are referred to as origin stories about humanity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
So there's a few different origin stories
Yeah.
I think about. And one of which actually I started getting back into
Mm-hmm.
because I revisited this gentleman's story named Bob Lazar.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard that guy.
No.
So Bob Lazar was a guy that a couple of decades ago came out as having worked on the S4 experimental research base near Area 51.
Okay.
Within Area 51.
Well, yeah, there's this whole area called Groom Lake.
I kind of think I know where you're going.
Yeah. So this is, so I'm watching his stuff, because I used to look into that stuff when I was like 14, 15.
Okay.
And I actually was like emailing like government agencies and like I was using the Freedom of Information Act to try to get stuff from CIA. I was like into it.
Okay.
One of the things that Bob talks about a lot is the briefing papers he got from the government when they wanted him to work on the aircrafts. They gave him these papers that kind of were meant to give him a brief history about the aircrafts, the people that made the aircrafts, where they come from, blah, blah, blah. And on one of the paragraphs, he says that the government explained to him that these alien races have actually been involved with human beings for thousands of years. And they have actually genetically modified and reset our DNA a few dozen times already.
Of course.
Not crazy.
Yeah. So about the civilization, there's this guy I was studying after I stopped studying Hebrew Israelite.
Uh-huh.
I got into this guy named Malachi Z. York, and what he would talk about is the Anunnaki. So I know you've heard
Yes,
about
sir.
the Anunnaki. So I feel as those are quote unquote black people. Those are our ancestors, our relatives. Because I've seen videos where government agents have been talking about how some of these extraterrestrials look. They're tall,
Mhm.
with locked hair, and dark skin. And so like, yeah, just what I studied, it said that the Anunnaki actually had landed in that area, Ethiopia.
Right.
And so we were created, they say the story goes like humans were created to mine gold for the Anunnaki. So that's how, and they say the Anunnaki, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. They say the Anunnaki came down here to mine gold because there was like a hole in their ozone layer. So that's why they came here to find gold to patch up the ozone. It was like the Big Bang.
Wow.
The Big Bang. So not sure how, but no, we're not the only life form.
Yeah.
To credit what you're saying, I don't think that at all. I feel like the Earth is the ghetto of the galaxy.
Oh, that's cool. That's all like that.
Because look how we operate here, and technology we have here. The shit we get here is old.
Mm-hmm.
They've been had helicopters. You can see that inside the pyramids on the walls. They've been had cell phones. You can see that computers, all that. So they actually say if we get it down here, the technology, it's probably like 1,000 years old to these extraterrestrial races or extraterrestrial beings. And I've looked it up as well. It's like at least 50 types. The Nordics, the Pleiadians, the reptilians, all of that.
Oh man,
it's crazy because a few months ago, the Pentagon, a spokesperson that we can fact check this, he either had worked for the Pentagon or still works for the Pentagon in some capacity. He said, "Yeah, we're in possession of off-world aircrafts."
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, a while ago, I did some time, like 2 years in TDCJ state jail, and a guard, he was telling me, he was like the government knows, and he said Kevlar. That's what he told me. Kevlar. That's what that in Roswell. Remember the Roswell incident? He said that's why they actually got Kevlar and the technology to make those bulletproof vests. It was an extraterrestrial defense. And that's crazy how you brought that up, because the other night, and this first time this shit ever happened to me, and I had a dream about like spaceships. This first time I was just dreaming, and like in the dream, you know what an airplane looked like and how an airplane is. It wasn't that, so it was like cylindrical circle, lights coming down, and it was like kind of like by my house, because I was seeing my neighborhood in the dream, and I saw myself like riding a bike, going to the car wash, and I seen numerous UFOs in this dream. So it's funny you brought that up, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, just on a purely scientific level, when you speak to theoretical physicists and they're talking about, well, based on statistics, based on the planets that we know are Earth-like, based on the star systems that we know are similar to our own, it could be that they're mathematically, it makes sense that there's probably thousands of civilizations.
Of course.
But then on the other hand, you will have people say, we've never been in contact, we've never received a message, and therein lies the question: have we really never received contact?
You just haven't, because these people in 1600 Pennsylvania Street in Washington D.C., they know it all. So and what the thing is with that is, speaking on the veganism, that's why it's becoming, I've read that's why it's so popular now, because they take all the meat and animals as not sacrifices per se, but these reptilians, that's why it's like really a shortage on animals. Come on, it's how many people they say in the world? 6-7 billion. Do you think it's enough cows, theoretically, to actually feed 6 to 7 billion people? So, but they said like the governments had a deal where they were supposed to make the earth more greener with the extraterrestrials. They're actually at war. I've heard this, and I do believe this, that our government is at war with extraterrestrials. And they said they actually have like space cadets. We have a regular army. They say they actually have a space army, not that NASA bullshit, but an actual space army. So fires in California. Somebody was talking to me a while back about those fires in California
Oh,
and those thick clouds of smoke. So they say like when it's actually a thunderstorm, that's actually simulated because they up there fighting, but they don't want us to hear it and see it. So they'll create this thunderstorm. They say thunderstorms are not really natural. Lightning is natural because the earth has a vibe. The earth is electric. We're electric, so that's why we're supposed to eat electric. So they said the fires they had in California was like a smoke screen because the wars between the extraterrestrial and the government, I guess it was coming so low that you could actually see it if you looked up.
Wow.
So that's what, that somebody was talking about that at a conversation.
Wow.
And I believe it too. I believe it. Because sometimes at night, you can look across the sky. If you look up and you'll see them. If you see them like going across sometimes. Because you know what a star look like. A star is like a blue, like a light blue. Sometimes you'll see like little red things. If you can look, those sometimes are red dwarfs, of course, stars. Yeah. Red dwarfs flying. I've seen shooting stars, but yeah.
Bro, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You just reminded me of one of the craziest dreams I ever had. Now I have goosebumps because of how intense I just realized this, what you said. Now, I don't know. I can't prove it. But I was younger. I was maybe in high school or something. I was at my dad's house. And I was having some of my friends over and I was asleep. And I remember it was a rainy thunderstorm night. But I wasn't really aware of that so much. But I was asleep and I was having a dream. And I realized that I was looking at these spaceships, like giant spaceships in battle, in space. And I remember watching one of these giant spaceships shoot, kind of a blue, like giant missile, whatever you want to call it, energy ball at another spaceship. And at the moment that it hit the other spaceship and exploded, I heard the loudest crack of thunder I've ever heard in my whole life. And I woke up and I was like, the weird thing was the timing. I don't know why it would have been timed so perfectly that when it shot the bullet, the missile, whatever, and then hit the other spaceship, it was exactly when the thunder cracked above me and I woke up out of it. And I was like, oh my God. And if what you're saying is kind of accurate.
So you're saying you probably saw what was really going up.
Right. It's like I was like astral projecting and my consciousness was viewing a battle. And then when it hit and the thunder cracked above me, I woke up out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. I think you just helped me to prove that.
Yeah, we have so many layers to us. We're not physical beings. I always say, like, this is temporary. Our skin, this shit is like temporary. What's infinite is our souls. That's what lives on forever. So, like, this thing with my journey, like about the food, doing this, I feel like it's to help heal. Because when you eat, that's your medicine. So it's like to help heal. So I'm saying all that to say, like, I want, whatever my mission is, I feel this is my mission to cook the food and get the conversation open about changing your diet. I want to complete that mission because when I pass on, I don't want to come back to this place because this is hell. I want to go to whatever my paradise before, because like when you pass and you fulfill your mission, you go to your paradise. I don't want to recycle back into this hellhole. So yeah.
Man, and what do you like? What is your kind of outlook on what's going on in the country? What do you see?
You talking about the racial divide?
That's one part of it. Yeah, the divide in general.
Or the corona?
All of it.
Like with the corona, I feel like it's to cut the population down. Because if y'all know anything, if y'all heard of the Georgia Guidestones,
no.
It's like these stones that some Masons have written out, and it says like that they're trying to get to. It's outside of Georgia on a little island or something, and it says they're trying to get humanity down to 500 million. You can look it up at the interview over
I've heard of that.
Georgia Guidestones, and so like they're doing a good job. And with the this stuff much worse than coronavirus. So the people that are passing already have underlying health conditions.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the homeless people, they don't have coronavirus. Why? Because they're outside every day, walking in sunlight, building up their immune system. So that's one thing I do a lot is walk, exercise, give me sunlight, drink water, and of course, diet, get your fruits and vegetables. I haven't had any coronavirus, knock on wood, but I try to keep myself up, but the people that were passing were people that have heavy carnivore diets. And I believe this too, like whatever it is that they're passing, because it's planned out, they call it the plan. Where would they put it? What's the best place to put it? Right in the food we eat. Because when the quarantine thing first started last year, what's the first place everybody went? The grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
Toilet paper, getting food.
Yeah.
So so before you get the food, people touching all over the food. They may have gloves on, but they're still breathing it. Your food touching everything and all of that. So, but with that being said about the pandemic, just sunlight, water, and exercise would keep people from getting that. Sunlight, because heat, what did they say? Heat kills it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we spoke to a few doctors recently, and even one last night who was saying, even it's not extremely public, and there's not a lot of places that will actually openly discuss this, but even on the official websites that are monitoring the death numbers, blah blah blah, even on their websites, the numbers are starting to reflect the fact that the people dying, like young people, pretty much nobody dies.
Exactly.
Young people. Older people above the age of 70 or right around there is when there seems to be a minuscule rate of death. And it's staggering that it's come to the point that for some reason we've had such a chaotic and intense reaction to this thing, even though the numbers are minuscule.
But they're not telling you how many people recover from that shit. That's the thing.
Right.
And they also don't say that. I mean, I'm just, that to me, when I went down this rabbit hole, it was simply a question of, well, if the actual clean numbers indicate that the rate of death is very low, what are we doing all this for? Exactly.
Yeah. To kill people, because you know how many people died after they got the vaccine. So when this come out and y'all see me, man, please don't go get the vaccine. Man, eat your fruits, vegetables, water, sunlight.
Yeah. Man,
just because it's no telling what's in it. It takes at least, they say, 8 to 10 years to come up with a vaccine. They came up with this vaccine less than 8, 9, 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. You can even go and watch Bill Gates say that normally with vaccines, like you said, like around 5 to plus year mark.
Yeah.
And he's saying, but we're gonna have to just really move this very quickly because we can't afford that time. We don't have the time to do testing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we don't have the time to do testing. Actually, turns out we're the guinea pigs a little bit, aren't we?
The guinea pigs on it, yes. And with that, it's just like, man, like Hank Aaron, the baseball player.
Yeah.
He took the vaccine for 2 weeks before it passed. Now, granted, he was an elderly person.
Yeah.
But come on, man. That's not a coincidence. Then I saw the video with the lady in Nashville, the white nurse. She took the vaccine. She was up on a podium and passed out.
Yeah.
You saw that video?
Yeah, I saw
then
that.
I saw another video with a black nurse couldn't move the left side of her fucking face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
And was crying and telling people, don't take it.
And they'll be like, well, you'll get over that symptom. I'm like, do we really want to be taking stuff in general that's going to give us that intensive symptoms? No.
The palsy in her face, if I'm not mistaken, that can take up to 6 months plus.
Yeah, we looked that up.
To correct.
Correct.
It's like, why do you want a limp face for 6 months? We should never be putting anything into our bodies that's going to do that to us. And one thing, we've been keeping up with it pretty much since day one regarding that kind of stuff. And I remember the first article I saw when they first were testing, and I've brought this up on other episodes. They say vaccine, and we're just going to bleep all this out. By the way, we have to bleep everything out regarding vaccine because we're
already like this close to getting banned from YouTube.
Oh, okay.
But it's all good. We can keep talking as we
Y'all can
are.
edit it.
Yeah.
we're gonna
Okay,
keep
yeah.
talking about it.
But the first article that I saw regarding the testing of the COVID, they said, "Hey, we're gonna start testing in Africa." I was like,
Yeah.
"Really?"
Using my people as guinea pigs.
Right. And I posted, so we're about to come out with another video. It's basically done being edited. And I put in an article from ABC News about all the people in Africa, and I have the pictures from it, protesting it. They're like, stop using us as guinea pigs. And to all the people in America, especially people in our age group who are like, quote unquote, PC mega liberal, they're like, I can't wait to get it. I'm like, do you see what you're doing? If you were truly liberal and you were truly quote unquote PC, you would see that article about them immediately testing in Africa and you'd say that's not right. Because they have a history of it.
No, that's inhumane. That's literally maniacal.
There's such a long history of using Africa as a guinea pig site that it's bewildering.
Our genes are the strongest. That's just undeniable. That just genetically. So with that being said, I don't want to try to get banned, but we'll move on to something else. But it's just like the Tuskegee experiment.
Yep.
Y'all heard of that? That
For
what
sure.
they use is gave people syphilis. HIV and AIDS use that to, you know, take us out or whatever. Just we've always so they're with the thing about the vaccine, well, they can take it and not we'll kill that we're testing on them, see what's wrong with it, tweak it. Then by the time it can get to the white folks or whatever, just being honest, they'll have so quote unquote perfected the vaccine. But like you were asking earlier about just state of the country, one thing I see about veganism, just getting back to the topic at hand, it brings people together.
Yeah.
Like whites, blacks, Middle Easterners, Asians, whoever, just a common cause. It actually bring people together, a common cause for the good of the earth. So like I was at a point like where when I was just studying and seeing what happened to my people, I was like in a rage. But then I was like, well, damn. At some point, you just can't hold on to that because it's energy and it consumes too much of you. You just have to be the best version of you. If you want to change the world, you got to change yourself first. And so, like, with this, I'm just saying, like, yeah, bring people together. And the thing is, like I said about the physical, we're not the physical. So we've broken ourselves down in the races. Of course, yes, black people are genetically superior to everyone else, but under that, and even everybody has souls. So what we connect with is souls. So I'll say with the veganism, it's actually has souls, connecting souls, and actually put in a harmony. That's one thing I love about this. It's just meeting people, whether you're doing it for the animals, whether you're doing it for health reasons, or you're doing it for spirituality reasons. Just bringing people together and putting a certain harmony back into the universe.
Yeah.
Because Mother Earth, as we call her, Mother Earth, Gaia or whatever, well, we call her, is crying.
Yeah.
She's crying like she's hurting because we've abused her for so long. And so, like, with this thing, just think about this with animals. You kill an animal, but how long would that take the animal to repopulate itself? At least months, years. You take off a plant, an orange, how long would it take that to repopulate itself? Not that long. Yeah, because that's how it's supposed to be. Like your medicine, like think about this, even with animals or whatnot, how long it take the preparation to actually eat it. So you gotta ask yourself, well, were we really supposed to be doing this? Because you gotta slaughter it, prep it. Then how do you prep it? This is the logical point, and I'm sure you use this with your meat-eating friends to tell them. The only reason you eat meat is because you did what? You seasoned it with plants. The seasoning we put on the food is what? Dried up herbs and spices.
Yeah.
So if you hit a deer and it was just roadkill, and you wanted to eat it, you wouldn't just skin it and eat it like that. You got to put something on it. So yeah, that's one thing about it, like a logical thing. But just like I was saying, man, the one thing I can see about this way of life is that it's bringing connecting souls, man.
Yeah,
That's the beautiful thing about the veganism, that it's connecting souls.
totally.
Can I ask you a question? Because I don't think, like, I'll give you a perspective. Okay, so
Yeah.
I was a different kind of poor when I was a kid, like not in the traditional sense. Like I was just a farm kid.
But where are you from?
Armenia.
Oh yeah, I thought so. Like somewhere
got-
over there.
I got family in Armenia and Georgia, the country of Georgia.
Okay.
And so in that region, North Africa, Transcaucasus, that region.
Okay.
And yeah, so I don't think we tend to forget a lot is that, living here in the United States where there's an overabundance of food,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like a phenomenal overabundance of food.
So much food, people throw that shit away.
Exactly. They don't even think about it. I mean, you know what drives me nuts is when somebody at a restaurant will like eat there'll be potatoes and like garnish and leaves and like beans and stuff right here on the
Yeah.
side. They won't even touch any of that. They'll eat the main part of the dish
Yeah.
and like 40% of the other dish they'll just throw out. Like stuff like that would have like my mom would have like beat you to death if she saw you do that sort of stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to get at is, could we have been vegan back then at those farms? Like we could have.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. We would have to have significantly changed the entire farming structure and gotten rid of the livestock in terms of just use livestock in terms of what? We would have used livestock in terms of fertilizing the land and pretty much it.
Yeah.
But we would have to grow like thousands of acres of plants
Plants. Yeah.
essentially. And that can be, it's the coefficient, like how to have a super efficient farm and also feed a few thousand people. That's a tough business.
So,
Well-
And it's not as easy as it is here, is all I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
and then also the tribes, let's say in Africa, there's a lot of indigenous tribes in
Yeah.
Africa who ceremoniously slaughter cows.
Yeah.
They bleed them out.
it's I always said that I studied it, not like the origins of it. I just believe eating meat was a delicacy. It was like, okay, with energy, like certain tribes will eat, if that you wanted to be as strong as a cow, you'll go eat a cow or a bull when you were going to war. So it was like that. So I don't believe people, of course they ate it, but it was ceremonies, it was a delicacy, things like that.
And they didn't eat nearly as much as we eat today,
For sure.
just because
There's no
they
comparison.
They
couldn't.
engorged themselves on it.
But at least they used every part of the animal. At least they didn't like waste all of it.
Well,
now,
yeah.
actually, we still use like almost every part of the animal today in a worse sense, where it's like we've got all these leftover kind of disgusting parts, and then we mash all that up with the bones and
Put
the
it-
gross
Put it
stuff.
like this. Now, with the word organic being thrown around and everything, even with meat, this is organic chicken. Or what do they tell you if they want you to think that the chicken you're buying is superior?
Like-
They tell you it's what? Grass fed.
Free
They tell you
range.
this beef, the beef is, this is grass fed. So what are they telling you? How the beef is supposedly healthy because the cow is eating what? Plants.
Yeah,
The chicken that's how they get that protein.
yeah,
Plants. So society is definitely, they ate meat, but it wasn't like we did it.
Mhm.
It wasn't like just 7 days a week.
Right.
3 meals. You're not supposed to eat 3 meals a day.
yeah.
So like I speak on myself. Before I was started this, man, I was like over like 350 pounds.
Wow.
So shedded that with this and exercise, because I was eating 2-3 meals a day, but I started eating 1 meal a day to try to when you eat 1 meal a day, you actually give your digestive system time to process what you're eating and push that, but take the nutrients and then push it back out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because our intestine, our colon is supposed to be like a hallway. Instead, we eat meat I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. We eat meat so much of it. I'm not knocking people that do it, but eating so much of it, like Dr. Seeley said,
It clogged up.
It clogged up. Instead of it being a hallway, it just becomes like 5 o'clock traffic, just
Right.
jam packed.
Right.
Yeah.
Looks like hoarders on TLC.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a garbage disposal center. Yeah.
Hey, why don't we transition a little bit and we get out the food and we just take a little bite and take a little film of it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that, you know, I'm even more excited that you're here today because of everything that we've gotten into this far. I didn't expect any of that, although I kind of potentially expected it. So that was sweet. But you know, the main reason why Rashad is here is because he is this amazing vegan chef, and he's been cooking a bunch of stuff, and he was gracious enough to bring us a plate of some stuff that he cooked. Can you tell us what you brought?
Okay. It's on the camera. Yeah.
Armin, if you want to just film it with your phone for a second.
Yep.
And just we'll edit in the footage afterward, and you can just kind of.
Okay, so when you turn it on, I'll tell you what everything.
That's a much better idea. Yeah.
Let y'all taste everything.
It looks delicious.
All right. 1 second. Let me.
And hey, while he's doing that, can you tell people where you're at cooking the food in Third Ward?
Yes. So on Monday and Tuesdays, Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, I do pick up and deliver. So if you want to order something from me, you hit me up on my Facebook and Instagram. It's Nubian Pride 713. That's the best way to reach me. NUBIAN PRIDE 713 on my Facebook. Rashad RASHAD Alkebulan ALKEBULAN Eagleton EAGLETON. Hit me on there. DM me if you want to order some food. On those days, I do pick up and delivery. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. On Wednesday and Thursday, I'm at the Shape Center from 12 to 6. The Shape Center is located at 3815 Live Oak, Houston, Texas 77004. And on Saturdays, I am on 4310 Alameda. That is the Possessions Boutique. There's a marketplace. I'm up there from like 11 to 5 with a table and selling my food from like 11 to 5. 4310 Alameda every Saturday.
Is that next to Green Seed?
Yeah, right next to
Oh, is that where
Otis?
You know
Otis?
Oh,
yeah.
I know Otis. Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Very sweet.
So I'm over there doing the food on Saturdays. So
We ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right. Here we are, guys. Rashad has brought some yummies. Rashad, you want to tell us what we got here?
Okay, what we have here first is like a chili mac egg roll. Inside of the egg roll is a vegan cheese with vegan meat crumbles and seasoned to perfection. What you had on top is garlic bread. What you have here is the $1 Million Secret Sauce. And what you have here is my vegan garlic butter. It's made with vegan butter, seasoned to perfection, and this is a vegan shrimp fried rice. They have a shrimp substitute. It's made by Beleaf Vegan. If y'all want to check them out on Instagram, BE_leaf, LEAF_vegan. And they make like fall meats, soy-free, gluten-free, and that's jasmine rice that the rice is made out of with onions, bell peppers, mushrooms, seasoned to perfection.
I love it.
I just got way too hungry.
Yeah.
Y'all go ahead.
You're supposed to take a bite.
All right. Should we keep going with this?
Just put that down.
You can
They'll
put
see
it down.
on the camera.
Take a bite of everything. Pass it over here. Let me
Man, I
take a
wish
bite.
I had another fork so both of y'all could or you can get one. Yeah.
Where do I start? I'm gonna go with the vegan shrimp fried rice.
Yeah. Should have told y'all warm it back up, but after y'all get through, y'all warm it back up.
Yeah. It's very flavorful.
Thank you.
The rice is sticky and it's got a good consistency.
Cool.
I like that.
Thank you. All right, taste the egg roll and put it. You gotta dip it in your $1 million secret sauce. I call it the $1 million secret sauce because it's gonna make me $1 million. I smell that sage. Somebody clearing out. Somebody burn some sage.
Sir.
I also realized that the sage was just burning out there for a while in a safe place, but that's why it smells a lot.
Cool.
Oh, you did a real bite. Are they the same egg roll? Are they the same filling?
It's the
Okay,
same.
cool.
Yeah, this is a problem for me because I don't even want to do the interview no more.
All right, pass it to your boy Chad so he can get him a bite. Go ahead and you finish the egg roll. Finish that off.
I mean, that's it.
This is your Houston Ensemble mukbang series where we're just going to eat. What if we did a mukbang of just Rashad's food? Do you know what mukbang is?
Yeah.
That trips me out. Oh, man. Like, what's your favorite vegan restaurant in town?
Just grab that cup because I want him to taste it and pass it to your boy. My favorite vegan restaurant now, because I cook a lot
Yeah.
for myself. So I would go to a lot of them. But it's one called the Masses. That a salad bar. One of my lady friends put me on it, and it's very good. The Mediterranean. And I was gonna speak on that earlier about reading about the origins of veganism. And actually, they say it was first popularized, I think, in Greek culture. One of them, or I think they said Socrates or whatever. But yeah, the Masses is good. And while we at it, I want to definitely give a shout out to my homegirl. She actually has vegan desserts up there at the place where I'll be on Saturdays. Posh Palette. She makes alkaline vegan desserts, gluten-free, sugar-free.
Oh, sweet.
So her Instagram is Posh Palette, POSH .PALATE. Posh Palette. Y'all check out some good vegan desserts. And definitely while we're on the subject, I want to definitely give a shout out to another wonderful lady that's doing a lot of work in the community. Because with veganism, I see it actually goes hand in hand with doing work in the community, actually caring about people. Because I've actually gone, fed vegan meals to the homeless with people. I'm actually going to keep doing it. So I want to give a shout out to an organization called All Neighborhoods Powerfully United. That is ANPU. All Neighborhoods Powerfully United. And give a shout out to Aisha Saeed, AISHASHAHID on Facebook. So y'all follow on Facebook. Like I said, this Aisha AISHA space SHAHID. So she feeds people. She teaches yoga class if you're interested in yoga. She teaches that, firearms instructor, fitness trainer, all those things. So I want to give a shout out to her because she's doing some good work in the community, man. And she was actually one of the first people, like how I got on, like with catering events and networking. She was actually one of the first, like, to help me, like, share her platform with me, buy food from me, share it on her platform. And my first, like, big event, I would sell food to people, plate by plate, and just deliver it. But she actually had me cater this event, like a health and wellness thing, back in November, a health and wellness expo that she had at the Shape Center. So I catered that, sold out all my food, and then kind of took off after that. So shout out to her and her organization, All Neighborhoods Powerfully United. But Chad,
Man,
food.
that was freaking delicious. I can't wait to eat more of that.
No.
I'm gonna recommend that to everybody. You got to go out and you got to try that. That was awesome.
I like what you said about, veganism is helping each other grow in other ways, because once you're in the diet, you're also in that life. You're not just in the diet. And I find, like, a lot of times, not with just veganism, but a lot of things in this culture where there's something that I like to call like communal narcissism. So people will say, hey, I went out to a protest for this guy, or like I just had like a plant-based chicken, look at me, you know. And it's meanwhile what's going on is they're not really treating people around them well. It's more like I do this little cool thing,
like in the groups. I'm in a lot of vegan groups on Facebook, and people are vegan for different reasons. So I see in those groups like people attack each other for what you eat. Oh, that's vegan junk food. Well, that person might not be vegan for the same reason that you're a vegan.
Yeah.
So I see people attack each other like that, narcissism, or some people that are vegan think they're better than other people. One thing about me, I said everybody has their own journey. So if somebody's supposed to enter into the same lifestyle I'm supposed to be on, that I'm on, veganism, they'll do it on their time. Everything don't happen on the time, so you can't like preach to people.
Well,
the best thing is to be the best version of you. And then once you're the best version of you, you'll attract like-minded people, or people that'll see your light and be like, well, it's something about Chad, or it's something about Armand, or it's something about Rashad. Let me ask him what he's doing, because obviously he's doing something right. And that's how the conversation started, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just as simple as like, if you're touting as being someone that's doing something that's good, you got to also be a good person. Like, what's up?
It reminds me of that. What you're talking about reminds me of, we found this video surfaced a while back where you had all these like, I'm trying to think of how to say it in a way that's not going to be super offensive. White people, hot Instagrammy people that were going to like Black Lives Matter marches and stuff like that, and literally like posing. They would take a picture. Somebody else was filming, like third person. Okay. They watched these people pose with like a sign or something. They look good, and then they immediately got back in the car and left.
Used it as a photo op.
Yeah, and I was like, it was painful to watch.
We gotta
the cloud. That's the word y'all looking for.
Yeah, the cloud stuff.
The cloud culture.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say we should shame that activity, but we should collectively, as a people, check that activity.
Not shame.
Not
but
shame. Like Cesar Merlan says, sometimes the dog needs a little bit of correction, a little bit of obedience.
But one thing that I also want to say to you is, a couple months ago, we haven't been on it recently just because we've had a lot of things going on. But a couple months ago, we were doing a similar thing where we were taking excess granola from Sinful Bakery. You know Sinful Bakery?
My brother I got a twin brother. Shout out to him, Ahmad, Ahmad.
Armad.
Yeah, Ahmad.
Oh, Ahmad.
Yeah, Ahmad. Yeah, Eagleton. That's his name on Facebook. Ahmad Eagleton. Then his Instagram is That's Vegan. He cooks alkaline vegan food. He's a barber, but y'all hit him up. That's Vegan. THETS_VEGAN1. That's Vegan 1. Hit him up and just check out the recipes he be sharing and show some love. But yeah, Sinful, he had bought some of that last night, the cinnamon bun, and he said he had some kolaches or something from there too.
They're good.
Yeah,
so
I had never been.
That guy, our other roommate who you met us when you walked in, he works there.
Okay.
Actually, but we would get excess granola from Sinful, and we would go out kind of in the Third Ward area, downtown area, and pass out meals to people who needed food. So I'm thinking now, maybe we can just get along with you guys and join and keep it going.
Yeah, I want to actually try to keep doing it like at least once or twice a month.
Yeah.
While I meet up with fellow vegans. We meet up, you know where the Greyhound station is downtown.
That's where we would go, actually.
Yeah, go right there to that Texaco and just park our cars, get out. Everybody bring what you're going to bring and just pass the food out.
Totally.
Because it's the least you can do.
Yeah.
You know, it's the least you can do. Because like you was just saying a few minutes ago, it's so much food that they just literally throwing it. Even during the freeze a few weeks ago, stores are just throwing food away.
Not crazy, man.
Throwing it away.
It's crazy.
I know they had to, but not had to, but
they didn't really have to. They could have done something.
And it's crazy that there are laws in place that prohibit them from giving that food to people who actually need it.
That's
And of course, and I don't know if you know this, but it's illegal to actually go and hand out food to the homeless people.
Yeah.
Vaguely, I can remember people saying
It
that.
actually is,
Yes.
which is another crazy thing. And of course, they say, "Oh, it's a health hazard." I'm like, yeah, maybe in a blue moon, it's not a health hazard.
And the
Okay.
crazy part, I read this stat before on the internet. There are actually more vacant and abandoned houses than there are homeless people in the United States.
I bet. Yeah, I think I've actually heard that too.
There are more actual vacant. I'm not saying that they got to give all the houses to homeless people, but there are houses that have been vacant for years.
Yeah.
That that you could just write it off as a tax write-off. Well, we can make this a shelter or whatever.
Right.
Because some of these houses are owned by the city, everything. So like that stunned me to see that there are actually more vacant and abandoned houses than there is homeless people in America.
If you could give kind of like one final message to everybody who's watching right now, just something positive to help us grow, to help us open our perception, free our mind.
Okay.
What would you say?
Just the final thing is like a message is a gem. You can't love anybody until you love yourself. And self-love is the best love. And you want to reflect love. So if you want to reflect love, it starts with how you take care of yourself. Like this exercise. It's not too hard. Get you at least 30 minutes of walking a day. You walk everywhere, so get you at least 30 minutes of walking. More water. And if you want to heal that inner being, it starts with diet, what you put. Like they always say, you are what you eat, because that's what the interview was about, like me cooking food. You are what you eat. So if you change your diet, you can change your life. You can change your life. But the main message is love, man. Just love. We're all souls here, and just we reflect each other. So like when you love yourself, you can put that frequency back into the universe, because we're supposed to be in harmony with nature. So once you start putting love back into the atmosphere, it'll start to flow, and it'll start to go from me, then it go to him, then it go to him, and then it just goes out, and then it eventually come back and then just recycle. Not everybody's gonna get it, because this world is an evil place. Will always be an evil place. But if we can get number of people to start loving on each other and just to keep emitting that frequency, we could be the change that we want to see.
I think good is winning right now. Actually, I can feel good winning right now. And I can feel a little bit of evil, but that little bit of evil is shitting their pants.
Yeah.
So thank you for another amazing episode, Rashad. We're going to link all of his stuff in the description. Give us some likes. You got to smash the like. You got to comment. You got to subscribe. We're bringing in guests to have super free discourse right here on this table. And all we are asking is a half second of your time to click those buttons.
And with that, we want to make sure everybody knows all love for all people, nothing more. No, actually, everything more, but nothing less.
Yeah. If you can do more than that, that'd be good. All right.
Y'all like and subscribe to him, man. I had a great time here.
Thanks,
Rashad, man.
All right, on 3, 1, 2.